All right, good evening, YouTube and Rumble. Wanted to continue with my trip out west here. We went from Devil's Tower up to the Little Bighorn battleground and ran around up in there and went to Billings, Montana to stay the night. So this is just a couple hours here, another hour and a half to Billings. Very interesting place, the battle. I've got a little graphic I wanted to show everybody. Okay, the Battle of Little Bighorn was basically two battles, but it was laid out pretty much like this. You've got a ridge line here with several hills, like punctuating it. You've got the Little Bighorn River here. There were some woods right around in this area, and then you have the Indian encampment here. All right, we're trying this again. That's the Little Bighorn River. We are on the Bighorn Custer Battlefield, and this is the Benteen portion of it, where they met the Indians down there, started fighting with them, and part of the U.S. Army retreated up to these bluffs up here. Tour guides and everything over here, doing some kind of documentary. We're going to walk down this trail, and then we're going to go back that way to where the Custer Battlefield is. Okay, Custer, coming in from basically the south, I guess that's southeast. He broke his forces up into 3 or 4 different groups. He had himself, he had a Captain Benteen, and they had a wagon train back here with Benteen as well. So it's 4 groups of guys. And they had, I believe it's Major Reno, was supposed to come over here to the south, attack the Indian encampment. Custer was going to come around this way and capture a bunch of the women and children of the Indians to use as bargaining chips, basically. Benteen was supposed to back up either one of them, and he was supposed to protect the baggage train. All right, so what ended up happening was Reno came in down here, couldn't see the Indian village, came around these woods, attacked the Indian village, and got swarmed by a bunch of Indians. They had way underestimated the amount of Native Americans there. Some estimates were 3,000 to 6,000 of them. And Custer total only had like 700 men. So he was beaten down here, fled to the woods here, and then they say he retreated to the hills, but most accounts say he was routed, but basically just chased up there, abandoning his wounded, and met up with Benteen on the hills. And they dug in and defended the wagon train up there. Custer didn't know any of this going on, came over here, saw the huge Indian village, and he was swarmed by the Indians as well, and chased over to this hill, basically, and was annihilated. And what I saw that was, I don't know, fairly moving, I guess you would say, is just on there's 2 different fights, 5 miles across, 5 miles apart. And the Benteen, still signs of the battle there. They have the pits that the guys dug, they're told to dig in, and all they had was like knives and just their cups that they ate their food with, and just dug little scrapes in the dirt to fight from. And then over here, next to the Custer Battlefield on Last Stand Hill, they have a separate cemetery for their horses, which Custer's men shot down and tried to make a barricade behind the horses' bodies, which I thought was awful. Anyway, take a look at the video if you want. And there's more rifle pits over here. Here, you can see where the road comes back this way. Custer ran into the Indians down there by the river, retreated up this way, had a running fight, and several soldiers ended up fighting and dying right here. gravestones on either side of the road, but mostly down in that ditch over there, that ravine. And they said this is the last stand hill, where the last of Custer's command retreated, and they were all killed off up here. Okay, so the way it's laid out here, that's where Benteen and Reno were after they encountered the Indians down here. Got their butts kicked, ran up this way, and entrenched on those bluffs over there by the bus. And this is Last Stand Hill. So yeah, they turned this into a cemetery for not only fallen from Little Bighorn, but also all the frontier battles, and then added every other war's veterans and spouses here until they filled this up.